We are thrilled to be joined by the newest member of Gotham FC, center back Tierna Davidson, joining us after the news came out just this morning that she had signed a new 3-year contract with the reigning NWSL champs. Tierna, welcome in. Congratulations on this big news. You were one of the biggest free agents out there, and now your new home has been locked in, ready to go for 2024. What made Gotham the right fit for Tierna Davidson in the next step in your career?
Yeah, Gotham has been able to put together a really exciting, fluid style of play. The coaches have implemented it really well, and the players have taken to it really naturally. So I found that very attractive. It seems like a great challenge for me to try and grow as a player. And this team culture that they have from top to bottom throughout the whole organization, the chemistry, just seems unparalleled. And I'm really excited to join and try to make my mark as well.
Tierna, first of all, as a Gotham fan, excited to have you on the squad. But let's talk about the squad you're joining, which obviously just won NWSL championship, and you will most likely be replacing an absolute legend and someone that the team really rallied behind in Ali Krieger. Does that sort of create like a different hurdle for you, or is that something that inspires you coming into next season?
I think that's something that inspires me. I feel really lucky to have been able to play with Ali for a bit with the national team. And I feel like I learned so much from her, not just as a player, but as a person, really. So I can imagine it was probably pretty easy to rally around her. It seemed like the team really loves her. So I think it's something that serves as an inspiration for me to continue to push the team from that position. I know she holds the team, any team that she's on, to a very high standard, along as holding herself to a very high standard. So I'm excited to continue to push that standard and to set the bar very high. So, I think obviously it's big shoes to fill, but I find it to be a really great inspiration for me.
Tierna, congrats on this move. And you're one player who's had to overcome some adversity with the ACL tear. Can you talk about what that recovery process was like, and just how motivated are you to make this Olympic squad?
Yeah. It's unfortunately an injury that a lot of us players have to go through, something that you kind of sign up for the risk when you're a professional player. But it was difficult. I feel like I learned a lot about myself as a teammate, how I could try and help influence my team when not being on the field, which was very unnatural to me. And so I feel like I had to grow a lot in different ways during 2022 and 2023. So I'm really excited to be able to implement that here in Gotham. It would mean a lot to me to be able to make the Olympic roster. Missing out on the World Cup roster was hard, but I think it served as great motivation to continue to push myself and challenge myself. And I think that part of that is what played into my choice to come here as a different challenge, as a new opportunity for growth. Being surrounded by such great players on this squad, I think is really going to help me grow.
Tierna, from a playing perspective, do you have any personal goals for this up-and-coming season that you'd be willing to share with us?
I think one of my main goals is really to enjoy the game. I think I have been through a lot, and with injury and everything that has gone on in Chicago. So I think enjoying the game, really getting back to why I fell in love with the game and why I show up every day and why I want to get better every day, I think is really important to me. I think that leads to a lot of success on the field. It leads to a lot of confidence. It leads to a lot of willingness to push yourself. So that's something that's really important for me coming into this preseason.
Tierna, I'm curious to know, who was your role model growing up? Who did you like to watch play? Because it feels like you can play a variety of different positions across the back line. Is there a certain player that you're saying, this is who I'm trying to emulate? Because it feels like Gotham are a team that wants to keep the ball and be very comfortable with their center backs dribbling into the midfield. So where do you see yourself developing the most?
Yeah, growing up, I watched a lot of the men's Barcelona team. My coach was from Barcelona, and so naturally he instilled in us a love for that type of soccer. And I think that's where I got a lot of my love to be on the ball and to develop play from the back line. So, I think watching players like Iniesta and Puyol, I know that, they're not female players, but I'm saying back in my day. I'm 25, so I'm not that old. But it was still like not even that easy to watch women play unless it was the national team. So definitely watching a lot of Barcelona play growing up really influenced my game. I hope to continue to develop being able to start the attack from the back line. I think that's where the game is certainly headed. You can see it both in the men's and women's game. Defenders are having to be very smart and tactful on the ball and have to be able to start the attack because the game is very condensed. It is very difficult to break down teams. They're very organized. So that's something that I hope to bring to Gotham and to continue to develop in my game.
Tierna, you talked about a lot of what you've had to overcome with the ACL injury and then touched on a little bit some of the struggles with Chicago. I'm curious what this last season was like for you, especially when you factor in the disappointment that you had mentioned as well of not making the World Cup roster.
Yeah, I think this past year was a lot of learning. It was a lot of learning how to be a leader on a team. We had a very young roster in Chicago, which was very exciting. A lot of players really hungry to learn, but that also meant that some of the more veteran players on the team, we really had to step up in terms of leading the team, in terms of being able to make sure that we were doing the right thing, but also our teammates were in the right positions and learning from us. So that was definitely a responsibility that we all shared. And with a lot of change that's happened at Chicago, it was definitely important for us to try and kind of keep an even keel and try and help lead the team through all of the changes that were happening. It's difficult to not make an international roster. It hurts, but I think it was important for me to continue to develop and play. I was still playing after being out for a year. And so I think it was really important for me to continue to get those minutes with my team, to continue to get those trainings day in and day out, and just be at home where I knew myself and where I knew kind of my environment and really try and grow there. It was difficult, but I think that most players can say that they've had a lot of ups and downs in their journeys, and that makes them who they are. And so that's how I try to look at it going into this next year.
Tierna, I want to ask two questions. One, you mentioned you're a big fan of the Barca team from back in the day. Your coach, he's Spanish, Juan Carlos Amoros. What did he say? What did he tell you he expects from you this season, or how you're going to play, and what was the deciding decision? And obviously, you're moving to the New York, New Jersey area. Is there one thing in particular you're looking forward to? Is there any specific food? You're moving from Chicago to New York, so I'm assuming the pizza is going to get a lot better. But is there anything in your mind that you're looking forward to?
Yeah. My conversations with Juan Carlos and the rest of his staff were really illuminating. I think the way that they view the game is super unique. The amount of preparation that they put into their game plans, their training plans is really impressive. But coupled with that, their passion for the game is something that is very classically Spanish, but also so important to have the love and the freedom along with the structure. So I think that's what's really exciting for me. I do very much enjoy the structure. I very much enjoy having rules and directions and that sort of thing, but also having the freedom and the ability to change positions when it's appropriate during a game, or be able to move players and recognize the spaces and have the freedom and the confidence to do so, I think is really important. I think is what makes Gotham such a difficult team to defend, as I experienced during the season. And so I think that's something that I'm really excited about, to be able to unlock different dimensions of the game that I haven't seen in myself before. When it comes to stuff in New York and New Jersey, I'm really excited. I'm a big food person. I love trying different foods and new foods. I won't get into the pizza debate because I don't think I'm going to make anyone happy with that comment. But I am excited to try some new pizza joints here. But I'm really excited to just kind of eat my way across Manhattan and really try all the different cuisines. I feel like there's nothing bad in the city. So I'm just very excited to try it all.
Well, Alexis is going to be more than happy to give you as many pizza recommendations as you could possibly want. Tierna Davidson, congratulations on your next move, and thanks for taking the time to join us this morning.